Tucker Carlson recently sat down with Megyn Kelly and said pretty much what most of the conservative voters, really all voters in America, are thinking, which is we don't want to be supporting Israel, a country that's killing kids. But of course, these days, this is anti-Semitism. Here's Ted Cruz sitting down with Mark Levin saying anti-Semitism on the right is at an all-time high. Watch this.
In the last 6 months, I have seen more anti-Semitism on the right than at any time in my lifetime. It is rising on the right, and it is dangerous. And if we look away, if we refuse to denounce it, if we are scared of it, it could destroy the Republican Party just like it has destroyed the Democrat Party. I think we have an obligation to stand up, to speak out. Many elected Republicans are terrified to say anything. And I think this is a moment where everyone decides, where do you stand? Are you willing to stand up and speak the truth? And it is going to matter in the coming years whether our party and even more fundamentally our country survives.
Both parties want you to believe they're working for the people, but let's be honest, Washington is bought and paid for. Big corporations in Wall Street get bailed out while working Americans get left with higher prices, shrinking savings, and endless promises that never materialize. The system is corrupt, and when it breaks, they won't be the ones paying the price. We will. That's why I put my trust in something outside of their control. Physical gold and silver from American Hartford Gold. Precious metals are real, tangible, and they've held their value through every economic collapse in history. You can have them delivered straight to your home or secured in a tax-advantaged gold IRA. American Hartford Gold has an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of five-star reviews. And right now, when you call and mention my name, Kim, you can get up to $15,000 in free silver with your purchase. So call 866-584-3884 or text Kim to 65532. That's 866-584-3884 or text Kim, K-I-M, to 65532. Don't wait for politicians to fix a system they benefit from. Protect yourself today. What does he mean when he says this is going to destroy the Republican Party the way it's destroyed the Democratic Party? How has the Democratic Party been destroyed by anti-Semitism? The Democrats just trounced you last week in the elections where Republicans had won those seats time and time again, and Democrats won them this time over. Mamdani won New York because he was the only one standing up on stage when he was asked, which foreign country are you going to visit first when you're mayor of New York? And Mamdani was the only one that sat there and said, why would I go anywhere? I'm the mayor of New York. I'm going to the 5 bureaus. I'm going to be talking to the Americans in the 5 bureaus. I'm going to meet them where they're at. Everyone else said, Israel, 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 Israel. And Ted Cruz is saying that destroyed the Democrat Party. They just trounced you. They're going to trounce you in the midterms. You're going to lose. And it's because the American voters are not in support of Israel. This has nothing to do with, this has just destroyed the party. Unless you think voters destroy parties, which Ted Cruz does think that. That's exactly what he thinks. You little peon voter, what do you know? Just listen to Ted Cruz while he takes his vacations to Mexico while his state is under hurricanes and floods and on fire. Ted Cruz, here he is, he's taken millions of dollars from AIPAC. Do we need to even point that out? Millions of dollars from AIPAC. But no, it's the anti-Semitism, a.k.a. Make America Great Again, America First agenda that is destroying the Republican Party. How dare the Republicans actually think of America first? Don't you understand, you peon voter, you? It's Make Israel Great Again. That is what Ted Cruz wants to do. I want to play some clips for you from Tucker Carlson sitting down with Megyn Kelly. This was a great conversation, I think really insightful. And I think it's insightful for those who, especially those of you who are watching, who might have heard that Tucker Carlson is now America's biggest anti-Semite. So he's going to win that competition. If you remember that competition, the biggest anti-Semite of the year award, Candace Owens, I believe she got it one of the years. Rashida Tlaib got it another year. I believe Tucker Carlson is going to be definitely the shoo-in winner for that one this year. He has been called the biggest anti-Semite. We're going to listen to the clips, him talking to Megyn Kelly about his feelings on Israel, about his feelings on Trump right now, about why he platformed Nick Fuentes. And you can listen for yourself if you think he's an anti-Semite. You can listen to his words and make that determination on your own. Megyn also sat down with Ben Shapiro, And Ben Shapiro, Bitter Ben, is saying Candace Owens is evil. He believes she's evil. Those are strong words to use, saying somebody is evil. But of course, little jealous Ben Shapiro, Bitter Ben, is upset that Candace Owens is now trouncing him. She worked for the Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro was always the biggest name on the Daily Wire. He, of course, fired Candace Owens because she wouldn't toe the line on Israel. She said, nope, sorry, I'm not going to support a genocide that's burying kids under rubble. Ben got rid of her. Candace is now the largest live streamer in the world. She now outperforms every single live streamer in every category. It is Candace Owens who beats them. Ben Shapiro cannot stand it. So, of course, she must just be working with the devil. That must be what it is. Here's Ben.
This is why I think you and I differ on our angle with regard to, for example, Candace Owens. I think that what Candace Owens is doing right now is evil. It is evil what she is doing right now. Okay, and I say that again.
But what?
Because
I didn't opine on whether it's evil or not. But my position is it's really none of my business. And
why is it? But I have a question. Why is it none of your business? I mean, you comment on these things for a living.
I'm not mother of the internet.
No, but if this were on the left and somebody were accusing Charlie Kirk of his wife having murdered him, I assume that you would be talking about it.
Is that what Candace is accusing Erica of?
Yes.
Of murdering her own husband?
She's accusing TPUSA insiders and other members of the right wing, including Seth Dillon, of being involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk, yes.
Okay. Like I said, I don't take in that content, which is an honest statement. I don't have time to watch Candace's show.
I believe you. But the point that I'm making is that when
what I
friendship should not, in our business, I think it's important. Listen,
friendship should not trump. We don't even know each other.
I understand, but even with Tucker, friendship should not trump our manifest requirement to speak out when people do and say things that are both detrimental to conservatism and morally wrong.
Okay, so I don't totally disagree, but I think the way of handling that, at least for me, is much different.
Well then, okay, Ben Shapiro, I'm speaking out against you. I think you're morally wrong. I think you support a genocidal nation. I think you've been happy to murder Palestinians. You've actually advocated it. You believe in it wholeheartedly. So I am going to advocate against you because you're right. We have a moral obligation to. And that's what Candace Owens is doing against you and against the genocidal state of Israel. So yes, you're right. We have a moral obligation to do that. And that is exactly what many of us are doing. Unfortunately, you're just on the wrong side of that moral coin. I just cannot imagine a world, a heaven, when somebody meets God and God sits there and says, you know what? Good for you killing all those kids. Those kids needed to die because I promised you that land, don't you know? And so since I promised you that land, you know what? Kill them all. They're all Amalek. Suckling, women, children, all the horses and animals too. You go ahead and you just kill them all because they're Amalek. And I'm proud of you, son. Welcome home to heaven. Is that really what anybody thinks is going to happen? That God is going to grant access to his kingdom to people who advocated the murder of children? What kind of delusional religion are you believing if you think that is true? Unfortunately, a lot of people do believe these delusions. I certainly don't. It doesn't seem like Tucker Carlson does either. In fact, let's talk about, let's play some of the clips from Tucker Carlson. He is, first we're going to talk, so he platformed Nick Fuentes. This is what got Tucker into hot water to begin with. He was already in warm water, hot water even, but now he's in boiling water because he platformed Nick Fuentes. But this is what he had to say about platforming Nick.
The main criticism, as I understand it, has been, well, yes, platforming. They say that. I don't accept platforming as a valid objection.
What is that a verb, by the way? You take a noun and you make it into a verb and nobody says anything? As a former editor, I say no.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Honestly, but as far as I know, Nick Fuentes hasn't eaten anyone. Jeffrey Dahmer ate people, and he was platformed by Diane Sawyer.
Dude, we have a sitting member of Congress. I spoke to the Speaker of the House about this today. We have a sitting member of Congress from Florida called Randy Fine, who was literally texted or put on Twitter, we should kill them all. Every single one. Someone texted a picture of literally a dead baby, and he laughs at it. And it's like, this guy's a lawmaker who's appropriating money to a military committing genocide, and that's cool? It's not cool.
No.
And let's just be honest. That is much worse than anything Nick Fuentes has said. Period.
So the main pushback has been when you had Jeffrey Dahmer or the Ku Klux Klan, or et cetera, these journalists went after them, exposed the terrible things. And Nick Fuentes has said, a long list of very vile things.
Big time, including attacking my dad, which was the most vile of all, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I personally have watched videos of him questioning the Holocaust, likening it to baking cookies in the oven, and there's no way you could have gotten to 6 million, seems to be his theory. He seems to think that we've way overstated the number of Jews killed in the Holocaust. He's ripped on poor Usha Vance in the most offensive terms, which I mean, so what do you say to those people? Say, why didn't you raise any of that?
Do your own interview the way that you want to do it. You're not my editor. Buzz off. I mean, I don't know. You want to go yell at Nick Fuentes? I'll give you his cell. Call him and go sit and yell at him and feel virtuous or whatever. That's up to you. I got the same thing with Putin. Why aren't you yelling at him? Okay, why? So I can show that I'm a good person? I care about what my wife thinks, my children think, and God thinks, and that's it. I don't need to prove that I'm a good person to you. You may think I'm a terrible person. Okay, I'm just doing my thing, which is I want to understand what people think. Yeah. And I'm committed to that. And if you don't like it, don't watch. That's my view. Yep. But that doesn't mean that I share the views. I'm not telling Nazi jokes, obviously, or Holocaust jokes. I mean, please.
Since when are we only allowed to interview people we agree with 100%? Like, you're only allowed to bring them on and have a conversation with them because they share your views and you're promoting your views. Since when did this begin? I feel like I can put a finger on that. I think it was 2016. Maybe it was before that, but I can't. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention to politics at the time, which is true. I wasn't until about 2016. I think that woke a lot of people up when Trump won, and a lot of us were jolted awake in the world of politics and thought, oh my gosh, like, wait a minute, now we've got apparently a Nazi fascist in office. Like, I guess I got to pay attention to this. And then many of us paid attention and said, well, he doesn't really sound like a Nazi or a fascist to me. I mean, everybody in the news is telling me he is, but I'm not seeing that. I'm not hearing that. And it felt like during that time, that is when people got really angry about platforming certain people. How dare you platform that voice? How dare you bring that person on and share their abhorrent views? Don't you know? Less information is better for people because people are really stupid and they can't make up their own minds. And so we have to shield them from all of that information, because what if they hear it and they agree with it, Kim? Now you are responsible. You are responsible for them hearing that and agreeing with it. And now there you are. You just created another little Nazi. Right? That's the line of thinking. But yeah, I think that started in around 2016. I could be wrong. You guys let me know. Okay. Tucker goes on to talk about Trump and campaigning for Trump. And we know that Tucker was a big fan of Trump, that he even had Trump's ear in his first administration. Tucker has been credited for preventing Trump from starting a war with Iran. He talked him out of it, saying, do not do it. Do not do it. I believe I got that story. Was that right? I think it was Iran. So Tucker has been very much supportive of the president. He's been in the president's ear. But Tucker is very America first, and he is actually anti-war. He does not want any more wars where America gets thrown in, and Trump is not really holding up that end of the bargain, and Tucker actually talks about that.
Yeah, I mean, look, Trump is elected. I campaigned for him and I love Trump. I just want to say that. And I talked to him the other day, and I love Trump. And I've known him for 25 years, and I could write many books on Trump, and they would be positive, basically. But the second he gets elected, who's the first person to visit? Bibi. Then he comes again. And it's like the energy of the administration and of the entire U.S. government is all of a sudden about Iran. A war with Iran? Really? How many people do you know who've been killed by Iran in the United States in your lifetime? 0, because that's the number. How many people do you know who've died of a drug OD? Some. Maybe you have a nephew who did. So, like, what is this? I know you want to have regime change in Iran. I'm not mad at Israel at all. I'm not actually mad at Israel. I'm mad at our leaders for spending their time and my money focusing on someone else's country. And then I'm doubly mad because that's a total betrayal of the promise, which is your government works for you because you own the government, because it's a democratic republic. Like, what the hell is going on? And then if you say anything about it, it's like, you're a Nazi, you're an anti-Semite. Well, actually, I'm not. And I'm in a really great place to say that, because I'm really am not. And no matter how many times they say that, it doesn't bother me, because in fact, by the way, I think they are attacking me because I'm pretty reasonable. Like, who would disagree with what I'm saying? Maybe you do. Okay, you do, but you disagree with what I'm saying, but like, what is the answer? Why would the U.S. government spend all this time No, it's a sincere question. Why is the overwhelming majority of the U.S. Congress taking money from a foreign unregistered lobby? Like, what? Like, what is the answer?
From AIPAC.
Why is that okay? And they want to prevent you from asking that question because there really isn't a good answer other than shut up.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There is no good answer other than shut up. But Tucker, you know, and I agree with him. Now, I am mad at Israel for committing a genocide because I think it's despicable when human beings do that to other human beings. And I'm mad at a lot of groups of people in the world who are doing these heinous things to people. I'm mad at anybody who does heinous things to children or heinous things to other humans for the sake of whatever it is their agenda is. However, I agree with Tucker in that I'm not mad at Israel for Israel looking out for Israel. I think that's what every country should do. Israel is looking out for the best interests of Israel, and Israel's figured out a way to get America to do its bidding. Israel has figured out if we spend enough money on the politicians, if we essentially bribe them, or if we blackmail them, or if we use a lot of social media or movies or whatever it is to brainwash, then, hey, it works, it's effective, and it works for our agenda. I'm not going to blame Israel for doing that. I'm not going to blame China for doing that or Russia for doing that. And I certainly wouldn't blame America for doing that either. We should be doing what is in our best interest. The problem is we're not. And Tucker's right there. It's not Israel that's causing our politicians to behave the way they're behaving. Our politicians are choosing to behave this way. Now, what their motivations are, it could be they're afraid because the blackmail that Israel has on them, or it could be that they want the power and they know that Israel will lobby and campaign against them and they'll lose their seat in the Congress or whatever it might be. But that is still the choice our politicians are making. Our political class are selling us out, not Israel. Israel's just there and they're working the levers and they're saying, well, it works and they're going for it. So, I mean, what am I going to do? Same thing with China. I mean, China comes over here and says, okay, your country's for sale, so now we're going to buy up all your farmland. And then the U.S. gets mad at China and says, well, but your farmland's not all for sale. And China says, yeah, right. We don't put ours up for sale to you, but you put yours up for sale to us, so we bought it. I mean, you can't get mad at other countries doing what they want to do or need to do if we continue to allow it. And that is what's happened. But he does say something about the genocide. He does speak up against what Israel's doing. This is what he says.
That idea is not only being challenged in our country, it's being disregarded. It's disregarded in DEI. It's disregarded in affirmative action. Identity politics is a refutation of that idea. We are awarding some people something because of how they were born and hurting others for the same reason. That is anti-Western. It's evil. And it leads, in the end, inexorably to genocide. That is the root idea behind what happened in Europe in the 40s under the Nazis. It's the root idea behind what happened in Rwanda in 1994. It's the root idea, just saying, behind what's happening in Gaza right now, where it's like, we're going to kill the kids too, we don't care, and we're going to, by the way, move everyone out because they're a people that is fundamentally opposed to us. Yeah, well, I'm not for that. Sorry, because that's not the Western understanding of justice. We punish the guilty alone. We do not punish the innocent. Period. And that's not racism. And in fact, it's the answer to racism. It's the answer to anti-Semitism. It's why anti-Semitism is wrong. It's why racism is wrong. No, you're not better than me. No, you're not worse than me because of how you were born. You're the same as me because we were both created by God. Period. So the whole idea of thinking of people as members of tribes, any tribe, including my tribe, is prima facie immoral. And yet, it is the operating idea behind so much of our politics. And I reject it. I reject it when it manifests as anti-Semitism. I reject it when it manifests as anti-white racism, which has, been pretty common. I know we're not supposed to say it, but it's real. But I'm not mad about that just because my kids are white, which they are. I'm mad about that because the idea is immoral, it's anti-Christian, and that is the destruction of the West. And so when I see these people like, we're defending Western, when Mark Levin's like, we're defending Western civilization, or Randy Fine, who's like, yeah, we just have to kill every Palestinian because they're Palestinian so we can defend Western civilization. I'm like, no. You are the enemy of Western civilization because collective punishment is the enemy of Western civilization. Period.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say, and I said it, and they called me a Nazi, and I'm like, actually, I hate the Nazis for that specific reason.
But wait.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I love Tucker Carlson. I used to not like him at all. I was one of those brainwashed people that just believed that Tucker was, and maybe everybody changes, and maybe he was. I'd have to go back and listen to what he was like in his younger years, when I would see him be like, I just do not agree with this guy at all. And maybe he's changed since then, and maybe he's matured. I mean, I know I have, because I've changed my mind on things, and maybe he has also. But somehow, somewhere along the line, I went from not liking this guy to liking him and liking him more. And now I feel like we converged, and now many of our viewpoints are the same. So, I'm sure there's differences here and there, but by and large, many of us have found ourselves converging with others that we once despised or once we didn't agree with. And what's interesting is, like, during COVID, a lot of us saw ourselves really converging with these people. And now with Israel, we're seeing that split again. A lot of people that I found myself, strange bedfellows with somebody during COVID is now, and America first, those ideas, we were like, yeah, okay, we want America first policies. Let's end all these useless wars. But then suddenly Israel pops up and their brain goes nutso and their eyes glaze over, and they just cannot help but to chant the slogans that have been clearly microchipped into their brains, because they're all saying the exact same thing at the same time. That's how it feels, like a lot of brainwashing or brain programming, lobotomies that were given to people. Tucker Carlson's right. He is defending Western values. The others are not. And, good for him for standing up and standing up against this barrage of hate that's coming his way right now, calling him the biggest anti-Semite or a Nazi, or saying that he is, that he's the cause of this rise of anti-Semitism on the right. No, he's still defending MAGA, Make America Great Again. He is defending the America First agenda that so many voted for. And yet nowadays, if you're MAGA, if you're Make America Great Again, how dare you? You are an anti-Semite. That's what you are. Because don't you know it's actually Make Israel Great Again? Or don't you know that Israel's basically part of America and we just have to let them kill kids? And you are an anti-Semite if you say otherwise. You say, I'm just here defending kids. Well, these kids are rotten, though. They deserve to die. I mean, that is the narrative coming from people. The thing is, though, is that the Ted Cruzes and the Mark Levins and the Ben Shapiros of the world, they're all wrong. I mean, they're all wrong. They sit there and they say, you know what? There's this rise of anti-Semitism on the right. We got to root it out, or else. Okay, you root it out. You are the ones who are going to be rooted out and on an island, because the vast majority agree with Tucker Carlson. That's where the majority of the conservatives stand, is they agree with Tucker. So if you want to root them all out, by all means, but you won't have a party. The party will have moved on from you. And that is what's going to happen to this pro-Israel crowd. The party is moving on from them, as it should. Finally, it's been long enough. Make America Great Again is not anti-Semitism. Thank you for watching this clip from the full Kim Iverson Show, which you can catch Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. It is free for you to watch. Again, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, KimIversonShow.com. See you there.